And I made myself a ring of protection +2.
Nice. And I started the stream during that, so the internet knows about your ring of protection +2. Yay. Gosh, we haven't played in a couple weeks.
No, we end up.
And then next week we don't play because I'm gonna be moving. And this week I'm all groggy because I got like an hour's sleep. I was up late packing, and then crash boom.
I've been like feeling slightly nauseous since last night.
No, you're not allowed to get sick again. Stop it.
Stop!
Stop. It's banned. As my little sister would say, no, that's for babies. She's rather autistic. She's rather autistic, and everything she doesn't like is for babies.
Being sick is for babies, yes.
She's also very, very aggressively lying. She's in an aggressive lying phase. Like she'll pick up something that she wants that belongs to someone else, and mom will go, "That's not yours. You need to put it back." And she'll say, "Okay, I did," and start walking away while still holding it. And I'm just like, the balls on you. Damn. If the state laws of the state of Nebraska were the way they were 10 years ago, that'd get her ass beat. They can't beat her ass that way anymore. The laws changed. So yeah. Stream's running.
Oh yeah, she can probably connect to server.
Stream's running, server's up. I'm trying out Barbara. And does anyone want to do the recap for previously? Don't jump at once. Sheesh.
I'm trying to think.
Excuse me.
The last time I suffered a breakdown was a bit of illness involved.
Well, not last time. Like, last time in the game.
The last time we murdered alcohol. It was a joke. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, last time we killed an alcohol.
Yes.
In the middle of a busy city street.
With only a few civilian casualties.
Yeah, 4. For me. You act like that's something to be proud of. I could have been more.
So yeah. And so, I think, and of course at the end of that, the town guard arrived and we're like, whoa, good job. But now, well, I guess I can turn it over to you.
What?
Well, Dirk and Donatium have just borne witness to a massive destruction, apparently random, of this strange creature. What do you want to do?
Okay, yeah, this should be in the other. Okay. Oh, my eye! Right light!
Whoa, what's happening?
No, it's just I shifted my note. pad into the other monitor, but the monitor is like kind of bright. So I was still groggy, so like I wasn't used to it yet.
You burned your eyes out. It happens on occasion. How about this? How about I make things a little bit easier for you to get going, huh?
I'm just like groggy.
As I said, how about I make things a little easier instead of just saying, hey, what do you want to do? So, it's shortly after. The chaos is dying down. The crowds are dispersing. You're out there on Magma Avenue. You've gotten your gift from Garlic. And a familiar face comes walking up towards the two of you from within the guards who are kind of taking statements from the people in the crowd.
Terracin?
Yeah, do you remember? Captain of the Guard, Terracin Skellerang?
No. I'm sorry, I'm still groggy, and I know.
So, he comes walking up to you. Donatium, I don't know you, bird person.
My name's Dirk, sir.
I see. Crowds are saying that you single-handedly took down the beast.
Sort of. I had a little help from that man at the cart over there.
I see. Is the gentleman down there with the cart a new member of your organization?
No.
Ah. Well, you are witnesses, and I have to get notes from witnesses. I don't suppose you mind telling me what you saw a little bit before the events unfolded?
Well, we were at an auction house looking at goods and we heard the noise.
I see. And then the Umber Hulk was there.
Yes.
Well, that's a real pickle. Still, thank you for doing what you did. I'm sure we would have had many more lives lost without your interference. If we need anything else from you, a representative from the Lord Mayor's office will get in touch. Probably tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
He shakes Donatium's hand and says, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Dirk. And wanders off kind of into the crowd saying, secure the warehouse. Let's get the crowds out of here. And then we pass ourselves back into, what do you want to do?
Well, I know what I'm going to want to do. Still lucky. I think I'm done for the day. I think I'm just going to go home. Perhaps I should visit the library first. The library I want a membership to.
Sure. You can visit. You have a membership. You just can go in. Is there anything in particular you want to do there?
I want to look up the holders.
Ooh. Well, alright then. You may make a knowledge dungeoneering check. say a +4 modifier because you're using the library. Holy.
Dang.
You find just the book.
I should probably open it.
Let's see. This is gonna be a thing. So let me pull up what is known about beholders. So you're gonna learn more than just like stats and such.
Oh dear.
You essentially find ye compendium of beholder lore and start working through it. So, at the basic level, you know what most people kind of know. Beholders, sometimes called eye tyrants or spheres of many eyes, are bizarre aberrations that tend to live deep below the surface of the world. They have eye stalks and central eyes, each containing magic. They're powerful, they're intelligent, and they tend to be, quite frankly, evil and horrible. But you learn a little bit more as you go through. You learn that beholders tend to be intensely xenophobic, disliking and feeling an innate anger to creatures that they consider unlike themselves. And that tends to extend even to other beholders. Beholders tend to be very individualistic, very focused on their goals, and extremely cruel to those who oppose them. Beholders are generally... One of the interesting things about beholders that's generally not known that you learn here, and you only learn this because you got that whole 35 on this roll, holy crud, is that beholders have two minds and two souls. And these souls do not trust each other. Most beholders are driven irreparably mad by this. But some manage to come to an agreement between these two souls to shift back and forth between which one is in power at a given time. You learn that there are several different varieties of beholders and beholderkin, and I think I'll just send you a wiki page at this point. Because, yeah, you,
guess we'll be here all day if we talk about beholder varieties.
Yeah. In that page and, like, the subrace pages and the beholderkin pages, you know them. That link I gave you is Forgotten Realms, so the notable beholders are, not present, and the appendix doesn't make sense, so ignore those. But otherwise, yeah, you click those links and you learn more and more about them. Of particular notice, though, you know kind of your basic stat block, which I will also link in there, that you can stick down and reference whenever you darned well please. Mal, you can't. You don't know this. Shush. But yeah, you learn more than you ever wanted to know about beholders.
Dang.
Congratulations. Okay. Well, so what will Dirk do while Tonatium is in the library reading this big book?
Good question. And as an answer, well, he doesn't have any idea on what to investigate on for the purposes of seeing if there's any whereabouts of the Umber Hulk. But he's probably just going to go and relax at the bar.
Okay.
So
So,
basically, you went to the Slippery Eel Tavern?
Yeah, sure.
okay. Here, I'm gonna shift you back to the main cauldron map because we don't need that map right now. So, the rest of the day will... Well, actually, no. Since you're drinking and having fun at the tavern, there's actually something you get to do, Dirk. Let me just double check what chapter we're on. I would like you to make me a D20 roll to hear what sort of rumors are going around in the tavern. Well, that's not going to be a very helpful rumor for you. But yeah, Dirk, you hear that very recently, in the last year or so, people have unfortunately been replacing a lot of their locks because while Cauldron is home to Keegan Gelv, who's probably the best locksmith in the world, there was some sort of scandal a little while ago with skeleton keys, and people just don't trust his locks anymore. So unfortunate.
So I basically just had a rumor about the actions that were caused by trying to team whichever.
Yeah. So, the rest of that evening goes fairly uneventfully. Until Tonatium is heading out of the library. As you're heading out, the librarian's going to tap your shoulder and say, excuse me, sir? There's someone waiting for you in the side office.
Alright then.
And when you walk into that room, there's a woman. She is strikingly beautiful, with like almost shining skin, eyes the blue of sapphires, hair almost like woven gold, wearing an extremely elegant white lace gown. And she turns and goes, "Ah, Mr. Tonatium, you do know how to keep a woman waiting."
Oh, I was a bit busy with research.
Of course. Well, I don't have much time to chat today. Here. She hands you a small white card. I'd like to arrange a business dinner with you and your comrades tomorrow at sundown. You'll find it very profitable. She looks you up and down and goes, "Dress appropriately, please."
Alright.
Marvelous. I'll see you then.
What's your name?
Ah. Celeste.
Right. Alright. Heard.
And
Just
she...
like the idea for going up to this tall Aztec guy, looking him down, go, you wearing that?
She's actually not that much shorter than Tonatiuh is. She's probably a good solid 5'11". But she, with that, she offers you her hand. You don't take it, and she kind of goes,
I'll take the hand.
okay. What do you do with the hand?
Like I shake it.
She kind of looks at you and has this kind of adventurer's look on her face, and then says, well, the card will tell you what you need to know. We'll discuss everything else tomorrow night. Please dress appropriately.
Of course.
And she walks out, leaving you with that little white card.
Do I have proper clothing in here? Oh yeah, we definitely have fancy clothing back at the treasury, so we can...
Yes, but there's dirt. And the answer is yes, because he has the sleeves of many garments. He could dress up as anything.
So, you have the little white card.
Guess I'll look at it.
It simply says, in very fine calligraphy, written on there in rich, high-quality black ink. Cusp of sunrise, Obsidian Avenue, Northeast.
Oh, okay. What was that on the map?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
This little, deep hat building.
Okay, I see it.
It's up by the walls, so it's been a while since it's come up, but it's important to remember, the closer you are to the wall, the richer you are.
It's rich.
Must be a fancy place.
You can make a knowledge local check if you have it. Actually, no, this is low enough that you can attempt a knowledge local check even if you don't have the skill. So, you don't know much about it, but you do know that it is a well-known dinner club and inn that exclusively caters to the nobility. It is an invitation-only establishment, and its membership list is extremely exclusive. It's not sufficient to be a rich bitch to get into this club. You have to be essentially it's your nobility or your close friends of nobility.
I see. It's that kind of place.
I imagine when you get back to your dungeon,
Dungeon.
you'll inform Dirk.
Yep. If
Actually-
he is there.
On your way out, Tonatium, would you make a D100 roll?
Oh, no.
Would you kindly make a perception check? Well, okay. So, as you're walking down the street, you feel a sort of tugging on your sleeve as a voice whispers in your ear. And who was she?
Don't know, just met her.
I see. So you ignore me and talk to her?
I'm leaving.
Would you make a combat maneuver roll? Because she's grabbing your arm.
Huh? Oh, wait, I never put down, like, CMB, huh? That's weird. Let's see.
I cannot for the life of me find her token.
It'd be bad and strength.
Okay, so just a...
Come on, Jill, where are you? You start trying to walk away. The person has your sleeve rather tight.
Continue to ignore. You should just go away.
You hear a sort of shocked and offended sound from the area off to your side where the kind of clinging feeling is. Are you really going to ignore me like this? It's okay. Her beauty will fade. And there's a attempted brief little kiss on your cheek before she goes.
We'll try to dodge the kiss.
Okay. Well, I actually need to pull up her stat block. One moment here. Jill. Where are you, Jill? Come on. That's not where I want to be at all. Went way too far. Does 29 beat your combat maneuver defense?
Yeah.
So yeah, this you can see out of the corner of your eye, she's currently disguised as she likes to, in that kind of unassuming red-headed halfling form. Little peck on your cheek. And then she's gone. Yay! Farewell.
Bad hops.
Boo! Got put a bell on her or something.
And the last words she says as she heads away is, "Don't worry. I know her beauty will fade. Even if I have to fade it myself."
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, you get back to your place. The Turvu's various people are like, "Yeah, halfling woman came by for you earlier. Wanted us to give you this, and it's a, one of those heart-shaped boxes of chocolates."
You can have him.
And they just are like, "Sure," and go to town. Dirk, do you get back around then?
Probably.
Or do you keep on partying for more rumor rolls?
That'd be another battle.
Okay, go ahead and give me another rumor roll.
Party, 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 I want to have a party.
That's probably not a very interesting one either.
Oh, it'll be better than 4.
Yeah. So you hear tell that Alec Tercival, the paladin of St. Cuthbert, who is just famous. He's probably one of the most powerful physically people in this town. Has been out of town for the last couple of weeks. Apparently he's headed to Red Gorge to take care of a woman who's been possessed by a demon.
Interesting.
Can I knowledge nobility on Celeste?
You may. So you stop and think, and the GM has to look up the answer. It's always fun when your players make checks for things that you're just kind of, I don't need to worry about that. Oh, now I do.
I got all the knowledges. Some stronger than others.
I have none of them. Dirk is not a very knowledgeable man, with his 9 intelligence.
And I still cannot use a wand of divine magic spells.
Because you never use magic device.
Let's see if I can find this over here more easily. Yes. So you are thinking through about this Celeste person, and you're fairly certain you've seen her before, but You're pretty sure she's not actually a noblewoman. In fact, as you're thinking things through, you know you've seen this woman a couple of times, like in the corner of your eye at major functions. But you can't think of a single thing that she does. She doesn't seem to be a noblewoman. She doesn't seem to be a wealthy woman. She seems to be just someone who's there on occasion. And with that roll, this is actually a slightly unnerving sort of realization, because you are fairly certain that if she is where you have seen her, she should have a title.
Oh dear. She should, but she doesn't. Could she have been... Is it possible she's someone's 1+ at these events, or...
It could be possible, but that's the sort of thing where you imagine there would be a scandal. Like, these are...
Be making a big deal.
Yeah. Like, she's a beautiful woman, she stands out. She's clear, she's in your memory not an actual noble woman. And if she's the +1 at some of these events, that means there's a noble who's going with a commoner, and that should be on the scandal circuit, and it's not.
That Angel doesn't like her.
That and the person who's searching for your deck once you're dead.
Perhaps I've seen her somewhere else? Better check with the knowledge local.
You've seen her at the play thing.
Yeah, that you did see. You did see her there. Of note, she did not take part.
Oops.
Yeah, that in particular is where you remember seeing her. You remember seeing her mingling with people before the play and after the play, down in the area where, only the important people were. But you also recall she wasn't involved directly in the play. Not really. No, that's not true. One of you danced with her. Yeah. Yeah. You remember dancing with this woman in the play.
That's
That big fancy dinner.
I'm in DC.
Thank you for reminding me. It's been so long since we ran that.
Yeah. She was Stan's dance partner, and I was dancing with what's her name again?
One of the Stormblades, I don't remember who.
Oh yeah, the other girl, the Stormblades. First there was the joke I made with the redhead one. And the redhead actually likes her for a bit now.
Yeah.
And then I danced with the daughter of the guy who ran who is your landlord.
Who was my landlord?
Yeah.
Speaking of, I can't find their tokens either. But yeah. I've got in the corner of the party, and Celeste was there. Yeah, and you made jokes with Cora Lethenmeyer, and danced with Anna Taskerhill.
Yeah. We haven't seen them in a while. We haven't had our daily ghost boosh.
Yet.
I mean, Dirk doesn't even know about them yet.
Oh, sure he does. He's heard about how they saved the town from kobolds.
Well, he didn't know the douchebags yet.
Yeah. He's heard about their adventures too.
They even got a reward at the party.
In fact, they're a little bit more famous than the Forgotten Exiles. Word on the street is that the Stormblades rescued the Forgotten Exiles from a prison when the Forgotten Exiles got in over their heads.
everyone in the formerly Jack Dyer is like, oh shit.
I mean, Dirk was probably hoping that Lord Valanche was going to introduce him to them, because, I mean, they're the big leagues. But yeah.
Would have been fine with, like, handing it entering the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't you want one thing over the other?
That's a very simple man.
Well, our simple man arrives back at the Tomb of the Forgotten Exiles, where some of these thugs that have become kind of your guards and go-getters are savoring some really expensive chocolates from a heart-shaped package.
Yeah, I'm gonna find term for it.
And as you kind of come in, Dirk, they go, "Do you want some?"
Dick will take one and eat it as he goes to look for Timothy.
Can't believe Tiam's being cold to such a cute halfling lass, eh?
What lass?
Oh, there's this cute red-headed halfling girl came by asking to give us these to Tonatium, and when we walked in and told him, he's just like, "You keep them." So cold, man. You can find Tonatium without any difficulty, obviously.
At this point, he's chatting to Tarmu.
Yay, Mal gets to be two characters again.
It did. Dirk will walk up to Timothy and go, well, how was your library?
A bit eventful.
Oh, do check.
I was just telling Tarmu here that we were invited.
You like the what?
To dinner. With the girl I found, I figured out that we were I danced with once.
Oh. Well. Do you two have any fancy clothing to wear? This must be like some kind of nice dance.
No, we're not going to a dance, we're just going to dinner, but I think we have clothing somewhere in the treasury.
Turvu's still scarred and would rather not go. Unless that is, Mal, you'd rather play Turvu this evening.
Turvu's going on? Yeah, I'd rather stay home. Still not feeling my best.
And you can see Dirk is nibbling on one of those chocolates.
Having that chocolate with his beak.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be like a really fucking hard thing to do. For that third clocker eating chocolate.
That's why I imagine you're still in the process when you're talking to Tonatium.
Just let it melt in your mouth. Jesus. Or like, hey, Alarm.
Who's this redhead person that you rejected a gift for?
Docker.
Which doesn't seem harmful.
Yet.
Yep.
She has a plus 16 attack modifier. I think that means something.
Oh, good to know. At least my death will be swift.
There's a what?
A raging hard crush on Tonatium.
You say a plus 16 to hit? I thought it was 16 and you cut out.
In any case. Yeah.
Look, I can have the highest AC in the world, and I'm still going to accept the fact that something's going to hit me.
Yeah, possibly me if I quit now. With my plus 19 to hit.
So anyway, I'm in the treasure room just going through the clothing. Because we have over 4,500 GP worth of art, /silverware, /clothes, /etc.
So most of that clothing is just kind of nice regular clothing. You think you need a noble's outfit. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
Derek's like, well, guess you're gonna have to buy one. As he pulls up his sleeves and mini garments, shoves them on, and then suddenly he's in a noble's gown.
So, Tonatium can find a noble's outfit in there.
I can?
Yeah, you can. There's probably one or two. They're not the fanciest. They're a little old or threadbare. But you can find one of them, and you can. You could also find the jewelry that you would need to go with it.
I can definitely find the jewelry. I mean, like, I already have a nice ring with the snake with blue eye gems, which I modified into my ring of protection.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. You're coming out of this very expensively dressed, but very modestly. So
That's not the silver cane.
a silver cane?
Or rather, it's like it's an ash cane, but has a silver
Ooh,
head.
I do like it. So
They can hide a potion in there.
you can. Are you going to?
Do I have anything I can put in? Let's see. Potion. Yeah, potion first. Jump, blur, magic bane. Hiding. Huh, I don't have much potions in my time. I guess I'll hide a potion of blur in there.
Okay. You may certainly do that. Now, Dirk, are you going to put on any jewelry or anything like that?
That'd be a good idea. We'll ask Tonatium if he can borrow some jewelry from the treasury.
Yeah.
Alright. So, you have outfits picked out for tomorrow evening. Is there anything you want to do on the day before?
The day before.
Yeah. Because it's sundown that you're supposed to meet at the cusp of sunrise.
Where is the meeting with the boys for launcher if there are sculptors?
It's in about 4 days.
Yeah. Right. Okay, they have anything we would need to do. Or I would need to do at least.
Okay.
I'm going over some notes.
So Dirk spends the day just kind of relaxing. And Tonatium goes over notes.
I'm like thinking as soon as I just finish skimming this, I might buy something.
Certainly.
Oh yeah, I should buy some potions of cure, since I still don't know how to use these wands yet. I should probably... I'll need to look up the potion prices again. Let's see. Yep, I can't afford that anymore, so I'm just gonna settle with buying 2 potions of Cure Light Wounds.
Wonderful. Are you going to be taking them with you to the affair?
I'll hide one in my cane.
Okay, so no potion of blur, potion of Cure Light Wounds instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think your dueling sword will clash with my outfit?
You can make your outfit not clash with the dueling sword.
Yeah, I'll do that. Nice. Noble's outfit, that goes with my dueling sword.
Look, I know our party tends to attract people who want to attack us, but do you think it's wise to bring a sword to such an establishment?
It's not really any ugly kind of sword. It's a nice fancy sword that nobles could use.
Yeah, it's a very nice sword.
And at least try to wear it as like a decorative sword, like some officers have.
Yeah.
So Tonatium says to the bird doing just that.
Yeah. That's what they were going for. That's all that.
Oh, I don't. Not those books do not taste good. Okay, let me just finish. Here, like. There we go. Alright, Dirk, you ready?
Yep.
Try not to cause a scene. Open the doors.
So as you approach the doors have a sign on them that just says COS, members only. Knock for entry.
I'll knock.
And a few moments later, one of the doors opens. And a man stands in there. Older, balding, wearing blue robes and a thick wool coat. Ah, you are the Umber Hulk people. I'm a Rengen. Welcome to the cusp of sunrise.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me. I got a knock.
Life.
I like how Antonio's like, Antonio have to try not to make a scene to the 6'10" massive black dragon bird person. The nearly 7 foot tall bird with dragon tails.
try not to make a scene. Are we back?
I'm back. Guess I gotta have my door open for the doggos.
I'm Renjin. Welcome to the cusp of sunrise.
It's a pleasure. My name is Dirk.
Dirk,
And so is you.
I simply love your outfits this evening. Is this made by a sleeve of many outfits? That's cheating, my boy, but I guess we'll allow it.
I'll show him the white card.
Oh, thank you. Please come in. Let's see, properly dressed, properly accessorized. Are either of you carrying any weapons on you?
Dirk will draw attention to his little dueling sword. He has.
Ah, a fine weapon. If someone challenges you to a duel, I'm sure they'll regret it.
I guess I'll show him my club that has, like, what was it? No. It's a club with gold brands. It's a +1 club. Magic club.
Oh. It's a
For
little...
self-defense. You never know what happens.
Yes, I know. I do wish it were a little bit more elegant. Though it is, I suppose you could treat it as a sort of badge of office or some such thing. Yes, excellent. Well, good. He comes over to these doors and opens them. Please, enjoy yourself. The Lady Celeste will be along shortly. Until then, make yourselves at home. As invited guests, you have access to all areas save for the East Wing. You can find the Grand Library directly through these doors. Good evening.
Good evening.
So, this is a big room. It's 100 feet across, a circular tower whose inside surface is covered in bookshelves and iron ladders on steel sliding rails. They go up, a good 40, 50 feet to a domed roof in a tower. There's tables and carpets and sofas scattered throughout a little stage off to the side with chairs. A bar in the corner. And a scattering of nobles, maybe 20 or so. A few of them are reading, but most are sitting clustered in conversations, sipping wine from slender flutes, playing dice games. Some are eating with fine cutlery. Some are ensconced in plush leather chairs. On the stage there's a harpsichord, but no one's playing it. Blue-robed servants scurry from noble to noble, appearing and disappearing through swinging doors to the north, the south, the west, and the east.
Huh. I'd say I didn't expect it here, but this looks like the kind of place he would show up at.
Kind of like the launcher.
Yes, the tokens here are people you would recognize. Yeah, they're people that you would recognize. as fairly important in town.
Does Lord Volunteer look like he's with anyone else?
He is one of the few people who's reading. He is sitting at that table alone. There's a number of big books out there. And from this distance, Tonatium can recognize that those are introductory level textbooks on magic. You know, the sort of thing that you worked through when you were a child.
He's still trying, huh?
Shall we go up and give him some company?
We can at least let him know we're here. Greetings, Lord Forlanchu.
Oh! How did you get in here?
We were invited.
Why, they'll let anyone in here these days. Well, I've got the wrong voice. Let me take a drink of water, get myself into Volantry voice. They'll let anyone in here. They'll let anyone in here these days. That's not quite right. Am I in my Volantry voice?
No, I think you're in your beholder voice.
Okay, it's very similar. Yes. Here we go. This is the Volantry voice. Oh, let's just let anyone in here these days.
I was pretty surprised too.
This is one of my favorite little hangouts. It's a little pompous, but the book selection's excellent, and you get to meet such interesting people. You were invited, you said.
Yeah.
My. Someone's not trying to steal you, are they?
Hope not. I guess if something did happen, it wouldn't have gone unnoticed. I quickly take a quick look around.
I kid. I know. Celeste is looking for some people to do some work for her. I recommended you. She would not tell me what it was at all. I'm looking forward to finding out myself.
Well, perhaps if the thing in nature isn't too personal, you might let you know.
Wonderful. Well, enjoy the cusp of sunrise. He points off to the west. There's a garden through there. We have a wonderful library. Flag down a servant and you can get an excellent meal. No one's scheduled to perform this evening, but the stage is there. I don't suppose anyone will be offended. I really need to get back to this, though. This concept of transmutation. You know I have trouble with it.
Transmutation.
Yes. Making a thing into another thing.
It's alright. I have issues with that too.
Well, you have a wonderful evening.
You too.
And he gets back to working through the books, and you can hear kind of across the way a scoff from another man you recognized. Your former landlord. He's got maybe 12 or 13 people all around him trying to get his attention.
Maybe somehow I got his. Perhaps if I try to get through the garden without looking, he will not notice me.
As you walk by, he goes, ahem.
I'll turn around and... Lord Taskerhill. It's been a while.
Yes. I suppose you are deserving of a bit of recognition for your good deeds. Please accept this minor token of gratitude for all you've done for Cauldron. And he takes your hand and places within it 10 pieces of platinum. A pittance well earned. And proceeds to sit down and resume chittering with the various nobles who, like, half of them are looking at you with extreme jealousy. A couple of them kind of seem to be looking at you with pity.
I'll slowly nod at those people who look at me with pity. And, head towards the garden.
Yay. It's a nice garden.
Oh, part of me is glad that he kept the conversations so short. I was wondering how his daughter was doing. I haven't heard from the Stormblaze in a while.
Oh, you know the Stormblaze?
Sort of. We're not on good terms. Let's put it that way. I half expected them to show up tonight.
Maybe they're off doing their job.
Maybe.
Maybe they're not allowed in here because they're shameful adventurers.
Isn't she your daughter, though?
No response to him, just kind of walking behind you. Yes. Double the shame.
I see no shame in being an adventurer. After giving back to your town.
Of course, you don't see any shame in it. You're not a Taskerhill.
To be honest, adventuring for me was kind of more of a last resort.
Precisely. She has no reason to be gallivanting about, causing trouble. If you see her again, ask how she's doing without my financial backing. And remind her that she can come home whenever she chooses. And he just walks off.
Guess I'll put that in my notes somewhere.
Isn't that horrible? Our father not supporting his daughter's decisions.
think it might be good for her.
A little reminder, because you just know everything about the nobility, apparently. Ankin Taskerhill is the richest noble in Cauldron.
Dirk now has sympathy for her because he knows how it feels to not have one of your parents enjoy your style of life.
I'll be honest with you, Derek, I don't quite enjoy this style of life either. It's just kind of... I was just looking for a job because I was out of options, and it just kind of escalated from here.
Well, it's not that. It's more... what if you chose to be a shopkeep and your mother hated you for it?
To be honest, my mother told me to become a shopkeeper because she couldn't trust me with the cats. She kept calling me.
You know what I mean. It's not right for parents to blatantly dislike someone just because of what they want to be.
Maybe so, but I do understand the sentiments of wanting to keep someone safe.
Sure.
At around this time, Renjin will come in. Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. Miss Celeste and her compatriot have arrived. If you would kindly follow me into the East Wing. He opens these doors, leads you across this little open area, and to a door. Well, here you are. Best of fortune. Miss Celeste knows how to call me when you're finished.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I have to check on something real fast.
I'll teleport you into the room. He actually shuts and locks the door behind you.
That's not foreboding, though.
And we wait for Antonio to get back. Yay.
Yay.
I love Dirk's different take on the Stormblades.
Well, so far he hasn't met them.
Yeah.
All he knows from is that they're famous adventurers, and that one of their fathers does not appreciate their lifestyle, which he himself has dealt with.
Yeah. I completely forgot that about your backstory when I was doing that, and I'm like, oh, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All he
sorry
knows
about
when he dies is, oh, I think that thing happened.
So, so you know, Antonio, as you've been escorted into the room, Renjin shuts the door and locks it behind you. And as you come in, Celeste stands. Wonderful. You do have the ability to look quite nice.
Wasn't easy, but I made it work.
Tonatium, and you're not Turvu.
No, I'm one of the newer members of the party. Trevor's stayed home tonight. My name is Dirk.
Sorry, Trevor has been feeling a bit under the weather lately.
Well, I hope he gets better. Is there anything that either of you need to eat or drink before we begin?
I think I'm good for now.
Wonderful. She sits back down in this very cushy red chair. Next to her is a dwarven man. Ancient, almost skeletal. He's ragged and thin. Like, you can see the bones of his skull, you can see the bones of his fingers, his hands shake, he's covered in liver spots. His snow-white beard is thinning and falling out. But he has voluminous folds of robes, high-quality silks and leathers, woven with gold. And as he shifts, you can see underneath it a sort of strange jet black metal in chain. Adamantine chain. And he goes, "So, Celeste, are these the heroes of the city? The heroes I need?" And she takes his hand and goes, yes, Davkid, they are. Good. I'll pay you handsomely if you rescue my son from the Underdark.
Your son's been to the Underdark?
Yes. My son, Zenith, was a righteous defender. Lord of the Malachite fortress that guards the underground approaches to Cauldron. A glory... Celeste pats him. Please, stay calm, old man.
Tonatine's shaking at the mention of Malachite Fortress.
Is something wrong with that place, again?
Yeah, it's, I guess you could say it's where my adventures first began. A bit too familiar with the place, to be honest.
I had heard, Celeste said. Dirk, Tonatium, and Turvu made the name for themselves, rescuing orphans who had been held by slavers who had taken over the Malachite fortress.
I had heard they rescued orphans, but didn't know it was there.
Yes. Well, Davkid's son, Zenith, is the rightful ruler of the Malachite fortress. But about a decade ago, he gathered up a small army for a crusade to purge the local Underdark of evil, and never returned.
I did see a path that led to the Underdark on my way there.
I told the fool not to go. I even tried to strike some sense into him. I was too harsh, too unyielding. Not just Zenith, all my sons had left me. And my wife, she died last year, cursing me with her dying breath for driving my sons away. I've had a wasting curse ever since. And unless I make peace with each of my sons, I'm doomed. I've made peace with my two youngest. But Zenith, I'm far too frail to go to the Underdark. I need someone to go for me to bring my eldest son home.
It's been like a decade since we went down there. Do you think he's still alive?
Celeste smiles. We've had clerics and wizards alike cast powerful divinations. We know that Zenith is alive and held prisoner in a Kuatoan shrine in the Underdark north of here, called Bal Hamaturin.
Bal Hamaturin. I think my dog's trying. I think he needs to be let out.
Yeah. Silence echoes as the dogs need to go out. Woof, woof, woof. The player has dogs.
Alright. Bal Hamaturin.
Bal Hamatugan.
Bal Hamaturin.
A Kuatoan shrine in the Underdark north of here.
In the Underdark.
In the Underdark.
Do you know who we've been held captive by?
Davkin looks at you. It's a Kuatoan shrine. The Kuatoa have him. Those disgusting fish creatures.
Knowledge. Engineering?
Sure. They are sometimes called menfish. They are debased fish-like creatures, webbed hands and feet, sharp teeth. They are suspicious and duplicitous, lying, cheating creatures. They are amphibious. They hate the light. They live in feudal theocracies, ruled by priest-kings and priestesses, offering praise to their deity, Bilbdulplup. Let me spell Bilbdulplup for you.
Okay.
Bilbdulplup. It's slightly surprising with that very excellent roll. You think it's slightly surprising that the Kuatoa could hold this dwarf for almost a decade and not have sacrificed him to their god.
Huh. That is a bit odd. He was captured by them in a temple. He'd be sacrificed way before now.
Well, obviously then, the sooner you can save him, the better. I don't know how long I've got, and if he dies, we cannot ever reconcile. I don't want to face the afterlife face my wife's ghost with a curse hanging over my head from this world. I will pay you handsomely.
Well, so Jim, I know you aren't all too keen on going back down there, and I myself am not a fan of the underground, but if you think it's worthy, I would definitely follow you down there.
I'm not so keen to returning to Malachite Fortress myself, but if there's someone there I can help, then I will do so.
Celeste kind of politely coughs. Actually, there's a complication about that. There's another group of adventurers. Perhaps you've heard of them, the Stormblades?
Oh, so that's... Let me guess, you asked them first and they haven't reported back.
Oh, no. They received... They were concerned about creatures coming up from the Underdark through the Malachite Fortress, and, well, they have caved in all the passageways beneath Jaredwin. About a month ago, there's no easy access to the Underdark from Cauldron anymore.
Not even in Keegan's locksmith shop?
That's the way down there.
There might be another way, but it's a bit risky.
Well, I do know of an entrance a few days north of here, by horse. I don't know exactly where it is, but its precise location is known to a hermit named Crazy Jared, who lives in the area. Crazy Jared is a madman, but he's a friend to the dwarves. He is trustworthy, as long as you don't expect him to see what is.
What do you mean by that?
He's not called Crazy Jared for nothing. Celeste smiles. I have a map to Crazy Jared's homestead. She reaches into a very small purse and pulls out a long scroll of paper, maybe 3 or 4 times longer than the purse is deep, and hands it across the table to you.
Thank you. I'll take a look at the map.
So yeah, the map shows Cauldron's environs. Do I actually have the map in here anywhere? I'm jumping around a little bit to see if I've actually put it in here. If not, I'll have to lay it in there later. Is it in handouts? No, it's not. Huh. I thought for sure I'd have had it in there. Well, it shows Cauldron and various locations around it, including directions to get to Crazy Jared's hut. So, payment, Davgid says. I'll pay you 4,000 gold pieces each, or 6,000 gold in its worth of arms and armor from the finest craftsmen of my clan. Plus, Celeste says she will sponsor and pay for your membership here in the cusp of sunrise. That's 1,000 gold right there. And the fact that she will vouch for you is something money cannot buy. Oh, Davkid, you are too kind. What say you?
I'll accept. Oh, that's right. That is right. You do have an arrangement with Lord Valanchu at the end of the week.
Celeste smiles. I'll talk to Orbius. He'll reschedule. Valantru, that. Valantru is what Valantru is. Do you have any other questions for the two of them?
I'm trying to think if I do. So, what should we expect once we hit the Underdark?
I'm not quite certain, Celeste says. All sorts of creatures can exist down there. Clearly, expect Kuatoa if they're holding Zenith in their shrine. If there's nothing else, I suppose we should let you get with your preparations, right, Davgid? Yes. Oh, Celeste. As beautiful as you were at my wife and I's wedding. And you see Celeste kind of furrow her eyebrows. Oh, stop. Shall I call him then? Shall I call Renjin to let us out?
Yeah.
She reaches into that same pouch and pulls out a strip of metal, holds it up to her mouth, and whispers. And a few minutes later, the door opens. Well, I suppose your business is concluded. I must ask you vacate the private meeting halls.
Of course. Oh, and Celeste?
Yes?
Apologies for my lack of etiquette yesterday.
Well, one gets accustomed to a certain class of people and forgets that norms vary. Your skill is already spoken highly of.
Derek will stand up and bow to the two of them. It was a pleasure meeting the both of you.
Davkid begins to return the bow, and Celeste catches him as his age and decrepitude almost make him fall. And she gives a little curtsy.
I'll bow to her as well and leave.
And they head out as well. And she actually escorts Davkid much more slowly than I'm doing it because he's very old. Down through these south chambers. Do either of you have anything you wish to do in the cusp of sunrise?
Well, while we're at it, I guess I should go get something to eat. Wonder what their menu is.
Yes, is what their menu is.
Yes.
Do you want me to generate a menu?
If you could just give me like a price for a meal, that'd be good enough.
It's included in membership.
Oh. So I guess like while we're here, we could just get whatever.
So, what they have here today, they keep they have a small sort of shifting menu. And hello?
Hello?
Oh, it's not working. My menu isn't working.
Oh.
There we go. They have a very select menu of foods. Essentially a list of 3 things that the chef is making on a given evening. And today, what they have is a beer braised pork knuckle with mushrooms and caraway rice, spiced hellhound claws served with cooling greens, and a smoked salmon salad.
I'll take the braised claws, but let me go get my dog because he's starting to make noises. Orcus.
Tonatium going straight for the hellhound claws, huh?
I think Dick will also take the claws. Which reminds me of something I forgot to ask. Do Eric and Rockler have any, like, distaste for eating other bird?
It's up to you.
Because, like, they are a bird. He's eating a chicken, like, cannibalism.
It's up to you. Just like how some people would be very upset eating monkey and others wouldn't.
Huh.
But yes, these are literally hellhound claws. So these are thick, black, braised dog paws, essentially. That kind of shimmer with fire within them. And when you cut them, kind of red light glows, and there's a very harsh heat underneath the spice and the cooling greens. It tastes expensive. Like, this is a 20 gold piece meal that you're just getting as part of your membership for free. Yay!
Yay! Thank you for the patience.
So, you know what a hellhound is, right, Antonio?
Yep, sort of.
This is a hellhound. These are hellhound paws.
We're eating big flaming dog paws.
Yeah. And they taste expensive. I assume you've had, like, meat that's been soaked in habanero?
Yeah, popcorn that's been soaked in habanero.
So you know that heat that runs down like your entire
not
body.
habanero. I'm thinking of jalapenos.
Ah, wow.
That's probably the closest I'll ever get.
Have you had anything with that spiciness that kind of runs down your entire spine?
No, because I have a very low spice tolerance.
This is one of those. This is extremely. It's not like it doesn't burn your mouth, but the heat just rolls down your spine as you eat it. And up into your head. And you're very grateful for the cooling herbs. And as you eat, you can see Celeste walk over to Lord Valantru, pat him on the shoulder, whisper in his ear, and he turns and he puts his hands kind of in a but, and she puts her hand on her finger on his mouth and shakes her head. And he looks a little bit defeated as she walks away around this little pillar. And you may make a perception check.
Like-based?
Yes. When Celeste walks behind the pillar, she does not walk back. Like, you know, in movies, you'll see someone who walks behind a statue and then doesn't come out the other side.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what just happened with Celeste.
Who is she? And this dwarf man said that she was there at their wedding, but hasn't aged a second.
He said she's just as beautiful.
Just as beautiful as she was. That has to have been a long while ago.
I like the context of this map. You're just standing in front of the door talking.
Anyway, knowledge history on or at least the wedding of said man.
Okay. You don't recall exactly when he was born, but you may make another knowledge history check. Nope. Okay. Yeah, you just
Spicy.
you have no idea what's going on. Do you have anyone else you wish to speak to or anything to that nature before we close the scene at the cusp of sunrise? It's a beautiful, exclusive library.
I'm trying to think.
Beautiful, big, knowledgeful, exclusive library.
Sort of library that costs 1,000 gold pieces a year to have membership to.
How? Guess I could go to the library.
What?
It might take a while, Dirk. You might want to talk to others or do something else.
Oh no, you left the bird to socialize.
This is the library, and this room is the grand library. Like the walls 40 feet up are bookshelves.
Oh wait, there are books. This is the library.
Yeah.
This meat is doing something to me, I think.
Spice is getting to your brain.
No, it can't be the spices. It's like I can't handle it.
You left tall, awkward Birdman to socialize.
Anyway, history books. Or maybe like an archive or something.
What do you want to look up?
When was this? What's his name? Where's had it in my notes. I wrote it down so I didn't forget.
Davkid?
Davkid.
Sure. You could make that history check again with a... This place is a +8. Davkid and his wife were married 520 years ago in a beautiful ceremony that was allegedly attended by... I want to review this person's name. I've forgotten this person's name. Also, I need to double check the dates. Yes. So, the dates do match up. He was allegedly... This wedding was allegedly attended by an angel who was friends with Surabar. One thing you do note is this book mentions that angel by name, and the name has been removed. Not crossed out. The ink has been lifted from the page.
Well, that's one way to redact a document, I guess.
Putting 500 gold pieces on it, and the fact that it's Celeste.
Yeah, that is mighty suspicious indeed.
Especially considering her name is Celeste, which is just a couple letters off of Celestial.
Yes. Davkid there is pushing 700 years old, which is very old by dwarf standards.
Very, very old.
Like, what is the dwarf life expectancy? 400 or something?
Oh, wait.
I have no idea.
Oh, wait. Supposedly this angel is friends with Surabar?
Yes.
Maybe if I look more on him, I might be able to find something.
Yeah. Dwarves normally live about 350 years.
So he is... Oh!
Yes. And you do find note that Davkid and his wife were famous for being among the oldest dwarves in the world.
And this time he was doing his research, Dirk has grabbed himself a nice glass of wine.
It is a very nice glass of wine. And they don't give you a glass. They give you 2 glasses and a bottle.
I guess I'm going to look up Surabar and see if I can find anything relevant to Angel.
Sure. You may make that history check again. Be advised this is a much more difficult check. You again find references to this angel who rose him up and healed him and stood by his side during the founding of Cauldron. But every time you find this angel's name, it has been redacted. But you do find within their references to a love affair between the two. And Dirk, since you have a bottle of wine and he's not getting anywhere, Lord Philantru will gladly just shimmy up and pour himself a glass of your wine. I guess we're not going to be getting the statues made this week. It's
my apologies, Lord Watcher.
Oh, no, don't worry. What Celeste wants, Celeste gets.
She seems to have quite a bit of sway in this area.
Oh. You cannot buy her approval. Why, I would still be an adventuring merchant if she hadn't put in a good word for me with the Lord Mayor.
You were an adventurer.
Adventuring merchant. Not so much for the, violence, but I did like to buy goods and take them to exotic places and sell them. It's how I came into my wealth. It's been a while since I settled here, though. Sometimes I want to travel again, but I love Cauldron. I love Cauldron more than anything. And if I can do something to make this town more ascendant, well, it's my duty. I think so, yes. Oh, these poor unfortunate fools. They showed Tonatium the library. We're never getting him out of here, are we?
Probably not.
Meanwhile, I think I'm gonna try to look up the genealogy of Suabar's bloodline to see if there's a connection between the angel and descendants of Suabar.
You're a scion of Suabar, aren't you?
Yes.
Go ahead and make that a history check.
That is true.
Okay. So, you find the main genealogy of Suabar with his wife, but then off in a corner, kind of hidden behind a couple other books, you find the beginning of another genealogy between Sulabar and a woman named Celeste. And as you trace that genealogy down, you can find where it splits off into other official genealogies. And what's interesting about this line is that where the other lines come through major nobles of Cauldron, this bastard line tends to fall into the Olmec people fairly quickly. And when it leads off, you get struck by a bit of a start. When one of the last names on that list you recognize as one of your great-great-great-grandparents in the tribe.
On my mother's side?
On your mother's side.
There was a nice big sip of his wine.
That demon meat is starting to feel very, very bad. I say it's like put the genealogy back where it was.
So how do you look? Please describe to me how you look as you come back to the table.
I'm trying not to look shocked.
I guess Dirk may make a sense motive check.
That's something I'm not good at.
It's okay, I'm bad at bluff either. I'm bad at bluff.
Go ahead and make your opposition. Let's see how this rolls.
And then you go and see their drawbacks to this.
Nope.
No, I was looking at my sheet. I notice immediately.
Tonatium is like white as a sheet.
You realize he's starting to look down, as if he's trying to make complex calculations, but you notice that he has basically forced his breathing to try to be steady.
Something the matter?
Just The meat is upsetting my stomach a little.
Oh, the hellhound claws. Oh, yes, they do tend to, they're so delicious, but they do burn a bit on the way out.
This place would happen to have a, what you call it again? Priori? Yeah. Restroom?
Yeah, he gestures to the north door, where there are restrooms. There you go. What does Donatium do in the restroom?
I'll just try to calm myself down as I... Actually, it turns out that whole meat thing was true, and he's about to... And he's trying real hard not to puke.
Well,
very good. Sorry.
I just took you to the restroom and back again.
Okay. It'll be a few minutes.
Sure. And the rest of the evening will go on in similar ways.
Yeah. Wine.
I'm sorry?
Yay, wine.
Wine, and the next morning, a bit of a headache.
Okay, now what do you drink?
If you try to keep pace with Lord Valantru, quite a bit. Do you try to keep pace with Lord Valantru?
Are you? Are you gonna? Are you gonna? Awfully quiet.
Yeah.
I'm muting myself. We got it.
Are you gonna try that drink for lunch, too?
Why would that? I would drink for lunch.
Are you going to try?
I think I'll try to keep pace.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a fort save.
Yeah.
Can I do my resolve on this?
Yes.
Cool. What do you keep my resolve?
Okay. So you're keeping up with him pretty well. And after the third bottle, Valantru has this sort of gleam in his eye and brings over something much stronger. And you manage to keep going for 2 full bottles of the something much stronger.
At this point, I'm just watching them. Because at least it's a distraction.
Dirk does not remember when he lost to Lord Valantru, or how he ends up back home. But Tonatium sees as Dirk kind of starts passing out from the alcohol use, and Lord Valantru goes, "This boy is much better competition than you were."
Looks like it.
At least he's easy to carry home.
You know what? He deserves this, though. Floating. So, you know what? A wand of floating disc.
Why would you even waste that?
Because I can.
He's only 124 pounds. He is light as a feather.
Well, you know what? I don't want to carry a giant bird, even if he is light.
But yes. Once again, Tonatium, you are struck by how Lord Vilantru seems to be utterly unaffected by alcohol.
Do you ever get drunk?
Ah, no, my boy, you have it backwards. I'm always drunk.
He's Hulk drunk.
And he just takes the bottle of hard liquor and starts drinking it directly from the bottle.
Well, I guess I'll see you when we'll make preparations and leave town for tomorrow, so I'll see you when we get back.
Okay. I have put the environs map that you received on the Cauldron map, where it was supposed to be.
Crazy Jared's hut. And the lair of Hook Face, the Lucky Monkey. Okay, that's where we were.
The Spire of Long Shadows.
Demon Scar, Red Forge,
The Red Shadow Thorn. Fairhorn. Fairhorn.
Jarlock.
Did you say there was an Eric Clocker village near Cauldron?
It's not listed on here, but the Arakocra are mentioned in the lore to live in these mountain ranges. It's just not important enough to make it on the map.
Yeah, which is more than likely where they came from.
Yeah. Let's say it's we're gonna put a little blue circle here. I said blue, not red. Come on now. There you go. There's your hometown.
So, how far is Jared's crazy hut?
Carried.
Miles wide.
The map isn't precise, so you can't say for certain. But the little note is, follow this path. It should be about 2 days on horseback, 4 days on foot.
Looks like we might need to bring some provisions. I mean, I'll get us horses, but...
How fast is a horse compared to my flight?
You can fly at the same speed as a horse, but you'll need to stop and rest more often. So it's still going to be about 4 days on not horse.
The horse would be good.
Alright. Horse now. Let's see, what am I going to prep? What am I going to prep for my trip today?
Not that.
Three, four, one more here. Job safe. He's still on attack. Well, now I have an excuse. Next time Jill questions me about Celeste.
She's my grandmother.
She's my great. However many greats you need to go back 700 years.
I don't know. She's too old for my teeth. Let's say teeth are related.
But I think she's an angel.
I don't know. Just to figure out what spells to prep for the trip. Especially since I have a lot more to select now.
Are there any preparations Dirk will want to make for this trip?
We probably need to make some provisions.
Yeah, Dirk will secure the horses and provisions.
Okay. So, are you going to get a cart or just horses and saddlebags?
I think just horses and saddlebags is fine.
Okay.
Well,
Do I need to
know what we're doing?
Do I need to look up the pricing for you, Dirk?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Peace bomb. Is our next pin?
So are you
Might be useful. I'm not sure.
Are you aiming to rent or buy the horses?
What do you think, Natalia? We might get horses later, so it might be good to buy some horses.
Knowing our luck last time, I think buy the horse.
I'm the horses then.
Okay.
I did not tell Dirk the last time we had horses, they died.
So at the stable, you get a choice between between heavy horses and light horses, and combat versus not combat trained.
What are the price values for each?
Light horses are the cheapest at 75 gold pieces. With combat training, they're 110 gold pieces, and this is per horse. If you want a heavy horse, it's a 200 gold piece horse. If it's combat trained, that's 300 gold pieces.
And I'm assuming the difference is carrying capacity for being heavy or light.
A heavy horse is generally used for hauling. Light horses are generally used for riding.
I think 2 combat horses, light horses.
All right, 2 combat trained light horses.
So it'll be 220.
Yes.
All right.
Do you want riding saddles for both of them?
Yes.
Do you want them to be military grade or just regular riding saddles?
I think regular riding saddles is fine.
Okay, each is going to be 10 gold pieces.
All right.
And the saddlebags for each horse is 4 gold pieces.
So that's 8.
The saddlebags can carry 40 pounds per horse.
Two light combat horses, each can carry 40 pounds.
Yes. So, as far as the equipment you bring with, that's what that will be. Do you want barding for your horses?
That's horse armor, right?
Yes.
How much extra would that cost?
Well, that depends on what sort of barding you want to make. If you just want some leather barding, that's 40 gold pieces per horse. If you want to go full out and get full fortress plate barding for each horse, well,
I think leather barding would be fine.
That would be 8,400 each horse. So
Yeah, I think leather barding.
yeah, essentially, you get barding is armor, and it's 4 times the price.
So let me calculate how much money I'll have left over after 80. Because it's 40 per.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So you've got two combat trained horses with standard saddles, saddlebags, leather barding. Do we need harnesses?
Harnesses?
You probably want harnesses.
Alright, how much is that?
2 gold per horse.
Alright.
The harness is the actual thing you like put into the mouth of the horse and use to drive it.
And then how much is the cost of 2 days of rations for 2 people?
Do you only want to bring 2 days of rations?
Let's bring 4 to be safe. No, actually, yeah. What would be on the safe side? If it's 2 days there, and it's probably 2 days back, or depending on, we can either just go straight to the location he tells us.
It's 5 silver pieces per person per day for cheap trail rations. Each day's trail rations weighs 1 pound.
So how much would a week's worth of trail rations be?
Multiplication symbol, not addition symbol. 7 gold.
7 gold. For 2 people?
Yep.
Alright, I'll get that as well.
And that'll be 14 pounds of rations.
Which will be divided evenly between us, so 7 pounds each in the saddlebags.
Okay. Do you want to get bedrolls and tents?
I actually have a bedroll, but a tent would be nice.
Okay. Do you want a small tent, medium tent, large tent, proper pavilion tent?
Assuming small tents are only single person.
So, small and normal tents can hold 1 medium creature. A small tent holds 1 creature, a medium tent holds 2, a large can hold 4, a pavilion can hold 10, takes about an hour and a half to set up, but it can have a fire inside the tent in the center.
I think the medium tent is fine.
Okay. So that will be 15 gold pieces. And 30 pounds. So you can't fit it in the saddlebags, but you can strap that to the back of a horse.
Yeah.
Why does no one ever want a pavilion tent?
No, we don't need a pavilion tent. It's only the 2 of us.
If Rio knew it existed, he'd probably want the pavilion tent.
If who knows what now?
I'm saying if I knew if it existed back in Kingmaker, I would have probably taken it.
Well, no, we get a medium tent. Time to see him and Dark to cuddle up.
That's a pavilion tent.
Against everyone's judgment.
Yeah, we get a medium-sized tent. Time to see him. We get to cuddle up.
Okay. Is there anything else you're wanting to get for the trip?
How many torches do we have? We might need a torch.
I have, on me, 9.
Okay, we don't need torches. Or like anymore.
Also, I think you have a couple ever-burning torches.
Plus you have light spells.
Oh yeah, we have the ever-burning torch of evil!
Yep.
And yes, because I wrote it down like that, that's what I'm always going to call it as.
Yeah.
And that glows an evil light.
But did I have that in the treasury, or did I have that in the... Yeah, I had it in the study. I could take it with me.
Wonderful. So yeah, you will not need torches, probably.
Probably. If we see a spider web, I'll probably throw a torch.
Yeah, if we see spider webs, we're going to need normal torches and not ever-burning torches.
Okay. Well, you've got plenty of those. So is there anything else you feel like you need?
Well, let's see. In my equipment already, I have a bedroll, flint and steel, mess kit, iron pot, water skin.
I should probably ask Caribou how I'm supposed to use these things. The wands of cures.
Caribou's like, oh, he's natural.
Yeah.
Look, he's a bard. He's
Um,
not some, like, fancy pants wizard. He's just like, ha, this.
I never learned how to use spells outside of arcane.
it's a use magic device check.
I'm trying.
I'm sorry?
They're not if they're technically arcane, because they're wands you created based on Caribou spells. And bards are arcane casters.
That's true. It is arcane.
Okay, so I
You
can
just
use
don't
this.
know the
That's not on your
spell.
list.
You just don't know the spell. So...
I am untrained and use magic device.
Well,
Yeah, probably not need it.
it's
That'll be fine.
a DC 20 use magic device check.
We're not gonna need it.
We'll be fine.
But really, D20 for a cure light?
To use a wand for a spell that is not on your class spell list.
Ah. You'll be fine. Probably.
I have 3 cure mod and 3 cure serious bots.
I should probably have learned to learn a cure spell as a necromancy.
Well, are you ready to head on out?
Yep.
Cool. So you start to ride along the path through the mountains. It's not, there's not a good road to Crazy Jared's. So you're actually riding along this mountainside through the little valleys. And I would like you to please... Well, actually, I'll make these rolls. So, first hour, second hour, third hour. So you get about 3 hours out from Cauldron. When I would like you to make a perception check. Map. Player visible. As Dirk sees up ahead on the ridgeline. That's not what Dirk sees on the ridgeline.
Oh no, our doppelgangers!
Got the gorillas.
And as you come closer, they stand up and start banging on their chests. Ooh, 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 ooh. you see a number of gorillas baring teeth and banging their chests. Ooh, 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 ooh.
No, it's nature of the gorillas. Like, why would they be doing this?
Gorillas are generally peaceful, but they are highly territorial and are very aggressive when they're provoked. But they do tend to try to encourage opponents to flee before they attack.
Oh, we're just trying to get through, and we're on horses.
You think that you think you may have stumbled accidentally into their territory.
Oh, I know. I'll grab a branch and spark it. Try to scare with the fire.
Make an intimidate check.
Scary fire! Scary fire!
They back off a little bit.
Come on, let's go before the wind blows this out.
Okay, you make it through the pass without really any further injury, although you do see that the apes are following you at a distance aggressively. But as you follow your path and kind of turn to a left, you see them calm down. And you think maybe if you'd veered off to the right, you would have ended up hitting sort of one of their family grounds. The rest of that first day passes without incident.
Yeah, non-violent solution.
Yay!
Hooray for non-violent solutions.
So, the evening passes.
That's right. Who's gonna keep watch? I don't know the spell myself.
Whoever keeps watch, it passes without incident. So, the next day, you get through almost the entirety of the day. And you feel like you're beginning to reach near to where you're supposed to be. When I'd like you to make a perception check again. And both of you can see, sort of preparing for an ambush up ahead.
That's a lot of orcs.
A bunch of orcs. They're sort of milling around, looking like they're ready, looking like they're hunting. And it looks like one of them may have seen you coming, and they're trying to be low to the ground, but are not particularly stealthy.
Why did I prepare 2 of these?
As you stop and look, do either of you speak Orc?
Nope, I speak Common and Orin.
Ulman, Draconic, Infernal, Visceral, Necral, Elven. Nope.
So you hear them shout something in their tongue, and they leap up and start charging towards you.
Crap.
You know what time it is. Time for a fistful of dice.
Oh no. Oh no. That actually should have been a 3.
Yeah, maybe everyone except for 2 of them. I think since I have a 10 to my roll, I might have beat both of them.
Yes. So 16, 13, 3, 16, blah, 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 blah. Don't care. Tonatium, you rolled a 4.
Actually, it should be a 3. My modifier was supposed to be 2.
Ah. Well, there's the 1 and the 3 behind you. Dirk, orcs are charging towards you.
I'm gonna step up this way and take a full defensive action. Get ready for the charge.
Oh no.
They charge full on, and some of them get sort of like that. Which means there'll be 4 attacks at you, Dirk.
Okay.
With charge bonus.
None of them hit.
None of them hit. One of them's a critical failure.
With full defense, I have a 26.
One of them not only doesn't hit, but it swings off to the side, slicing one of them. And making ouchie ouch. Ooh. Tonatium.
Crap. Yeah, of course it wouldn't be a perfect lineup. Just gotta check the radius and make sure it's 20 feet.
Is this when Tonatium casts Fireball and all the orcs die?
No, it's when I cast Black Tentacles and all the orcs become very inconvenienced.
Become mildly inconvenient.
What's the save on that?
It's a combat maneuver check.
Yeah, it's a grapple check.
Make a grapple check.
Slash R.
You can get all of them but 136 without threatening Dirk.
Alright.
They all get grabbed.
Yeah,
An attack like that would have hit me.
6 damage. To all of them. Huh. That easy, huh?
Yeah, you just...
I mean, there's a lot of them for sure, but...
Yeah. Tentacles burst through, grabbing all these people, picking them up, slamming them together, and they expire quite rapidly. Which, I think makes this Dirk's turn.
Yay! I'ma cut him down!
That hits.
I cannot do anything less than 17 damage.
You just skewer this orc. And with that, None of these orcs are able to bring back meat to their children.
Everyone's rejected.
Da, da, da,
Now the
da,
corpses will
da,
rot.
da, da.
And they'll, I don't know, will the kids die to disease or starvation first?
Now their corpses are rotting. They're floating in the air.
The corpses will rot, it'll poison the air, disease will come to Cauldron. But no, it's
You know, if I at least used Fireball, I would have at least cooked them.
damn you, Spear Hero, or that was Sword Hero, wasn't it?
That was Sword Hero.
Anyway,
Sword Hero relates to the plant.
yeah. Spear Hero just did all the other stupid bullshit.
Yeah, they all did stupid bullshit.
Yeah. But in any case, don't get XP, because this was effectively a CR1 encounter.
CR1? Is that many?
Okay, CR2.
Okay, that's slightly better.
Yeah.
I mean, if they die from 6 hit points of damage.
Yeah.
Now, gotcha, the challenge would have been like all of them, like just how many they were.
Yeah, but if I had full defense action, they can't hit me.
No, it was just
They had charge bonuses and they rolled 23s.
yeah, it was.
I could probably reach that if I casted Shield.
It was not a terribly threatening random encounter. But yeah, you get your horses that were very stoic through the whole affair and can continue on. And, well, please permit me to tell you what you see as you crest the edge of the hill towards Crazy Jared's. Are you ready?
No, but okay.
I would like you, as you approach, to make perception checks.
No.
Rolled a 1.
Dirk, you see a flash of fiery light over the hill that you need to cross next. What do you do?
I will point that out to Timothy.
Okay.
What is that?
Another flash of light.
Another flash of light?
Yeah.
Should we go investigate?
Is this magic at work?
You can't tell from this distance.
I guess he should take a look.
Okay, are you going to go quickly?
Probably. Or should we stealth?
Someone could be in trouble, so it might be a good idea to go quick.
We'll just have to be careful.
Very well. Give me one moment. Your approach needs me to change this map slightly. Not a lot. Just a little.
Oh god, it's a fucking dragon.
You approach, and you see a fucking dragon.
A fucking dragon!
Flying in the air over this hut. And on the ground, there's an old man with a beard, shaking his fist at the dragon. Going, "Aye! Ah!" He's a wild-eyed man holding a silver rod in his hands.
Knowledge Arcana of the dragon, please.
It's a dragon. It's a red dragon.
It's a red dragon. Oh dear! How high is it in the air?
Maybe 15, maybe 10, 15 feet up. It's flying fairly low.
We're gonna die.
As you come on horseback, the crazy man scrambles over to you. Ah, my knights! Onward! Onward! For Anduria! And he holds out this silver rod, and from it a shimmering light comes, and he is now resplendent in golden armor with a large crown and a great red cape.
Well, again.
It'll be initiative.
Roll with it. The Red Dragon F.
Let's hope Red Dragons don't have issues with Black Dragons that I am half of.
Now.
Me?
Yeah. This dragon is wheeling around towards the place again.
So, how far can I charge?
Twice your speed.
100 feet. So, if I fly. 40 feet if I don't. I'm gonna run, which is 4 times my speed, correct?
Yes.
Fly my ass over there.
You know, if you want to charge Gottrand, you can do it. You can just move a little closer before the combat begins.
Okay. Yeah, I'll charge the massive dragons.
Okay. You charge toward this dragon. Go ahead and make your attack.
So 19 plus 2 because I'm charging, right?
Yes. That will hit.
1d8. Do I get both of my attacks on the charge? Or only one?
Only one.
8 plus 1d8 9 plus 1d6 shock damage plus 9.
Yeah, you just skewer the dragon's back, and it goes. Huh? Donatium.
Horsey, go this way.
I'm assuming you hopped off the horses that are beginning to panic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hop it off, and I'll cast shield from here.
Okay.
I'm so glad I don't ever change my resistances.
Now, there is one more thing that we need to do here.
Oh yeah, that.
Because this is a dragon.
It's a fucking dragon!
He's a dragon.
Yes. So, that means I need you to make will saves.
This is a fear effect, isn't it?
It is.
Let's see, do I have anything against that? Have anything against that? It's what save?
Yes.
I'll do this off. I'll take the 20 save.
Both of you make it. Neither of you is frightened by this glorious dragon that wheels around and goes, "What? The Mad Hermit actually has knights? Get out of here." and slaps you with its tail. Dirk.
Ooh, tail slap. More like tail slam, to be honest, but still.
Yeah, that is.
For 15 damage.
You're gonna die.
No, not 50 health.
Oh, okay then. I'll rephrase that. I'm gonna die.
Crazy Jared comes up here, staff aloft, and says, "Oh, my grand knights! Glorious, beauteous! The demon came forth from the bowels of hell, but the black angel descended to strike." You have +3 on attack and damage rolls.
Okay.
Dirk!
Swinging twice. It's a +3. First it's +22, that's a crit hit.
Does that confirm?
Yes.
Right, you want me to do the other attack as well, or get the damage?
Go ahead and do the other attack as well.
Alright. Next plus it's a 14, which would be 17 with the bonus.
Imagine how bad it would be if you had that curse on you.
That also hits.
Cool. So
there's going to be a lot of damage here.
well, the precision of shock damage isn't multiplied by a crit. 2d8 plus 18 plus 1d6 plus 9. For the first hit.
That is a lot.
And then the second hit, 1d8 plus 9 plus 1d6 plus 9.
This dragon is really not looking good. Don't it, Ian?
Yeah, I kind of regret not upgrading the wand to 5 missiles, but I didn't have the funds for that, but, pew pew!
Magic missiles. This dragon goes, "This land will be mine yet, madman. I swear, Anduria will be mine." And he attempts to fly away.
I'm going to take that attack opportunity. That's a quick threat.
That's a confirmation.
I can't do anything less than that, so he's dead.
Let's see how dead he is.
So 2d8 plus 18 plus 1. I do a flat 27. Or 20, yeah, 27.
How do you want to do this?
6.
I mean, you are the Black Angel.
I'm just gonna skewer him through his eyeball.
And this dragon crashes onto the ground, and Dirk lands shortly thereafter, wings flapping. Da 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 da.
Alright, before we continue, I gotta go use the restroom real fast.
That was supposed to be a more dramatic fight. Oh yeah, his hut's on fire.
It's not
Yeah.
fire.
I don't have anything for that.
Neither do I. Hey, the dragon's dead.
And
He's like,
neither does he.
I'll think of something when I'm in the restroom.
Freaking boof. Boof, boof, boof. Do. Everyone's had to leave. It's quiet time. Welcome back. First dragon.
Yeah. Technically second. Giant fucking interpanel black dragon thing. That we didn't kill.
That was supposed to be a bit more of a thing.
Well, that's what Dirk sells at one-on-one fights.
I'm like, is he going to use all of his 8 attacks? No, he's just going to try and scare you off first. Because he's an arrogant dragon. Well,
Little did he realize, I am also part dragon.
That freaking crit.
2 crits. I crit out of 17.
It was a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's like half my damage isn't bonus by crit.
Yeah.
But shock burst it would be.
Frickin'. Darn you. Tom character.
I'm a Tom character. Tom character would have been hit by that Tesla.
That's true. And a Tom character would also have been stuck on the ground because Tom would have not considered an aerial fight, and he would have been very upset with me because I gave him an aerial fight that negated his character.
I didn't fly.
Yeah. You can fly, and you literally just flew, rode in on your horse, leapt, skewered him from behind, pulled back, slice, stab, sword in the eye.
We got a little GPU on the side. That being said, he would have died without the GPU.
Yeah. While Tanatium waving his wand proved utterly irrelevant.
He just would have been at 21 instead of negative 31.
I don't even think that Crazy Jared's bardic inspiration thing did anything either.
Oh yeah, that would have done more damage. You would have been at negative 34. I could have wing shot him and fall to the ground too.
Yeah.
It was a precise strike. I have yet to do my master stroke.
Still, I was expecting that fight to push us through until,
Alright, how's the fire going?
Okay.
Still burning.
Yep.
There's gotta be dirt around here somewhere.
And as he comes in, Jared looks and goes, Ah, you have saved my hut. Boom! The fire goes loud, goes higher. Yes.
This would have been a good time to have prepared to brave frost, but
You've saved my palace. I am grateful. Behold my realm of Anduria. Have you ever seen a land more beauteous? As he holds out his arms, and this burning hut is replaced by a stone palace. And these kind of barren hills and mountains get rolled over by a shimmering magical light and reveal rolling hills covered in vineyards and flowering trees. And there's, little birds twittering in the air.
do I still feel that fire going on?
Oh yeah. You may make a will save.
Distraction of swarm mind affecting effect.
No.
Yeah, I'll take save.
My save.
Yeah. And as he's doing that, you can actually, as he holds his hands wide, you can hear him go, Azabavundanya, behold Anduria. And, yeah, it's an illusion. The entire thing's an illusion.
It looks very lovely and very warm at this time of year.
Yes, it is always pleasantly warm in Anduria. My knights, I thank you. Come, kiss your king's ring.
Roll with it, roll with it. Well, greetings, Your Majesty. As he kisses his ring. I am known as Tonatium.
Tonatium of the many lights.
And Derek will share his ring as well, and you may call me Derek.
The grand black angel Dirk. I am King Jared IV Alurstran of Alduria. Welcome to my domain. Shall we go into my palace? And as he walks a little closer, he turns around and goes, on second thought, there's renovations going on. We should not go into the palace.
Understandable.
We can meet here. As he takes that silver rod and holds it high, and it shimmers, and a large pavilion tent appears out of nowhere. Haha, I knew I'd get my pavilion tent. And he opens the flap and beckons you to come in.
Okay, then.
Inside, there is a large table, chairs, and the table is overflowing with grapes and meats. This is not an illusion.
Oh.
Ah, yes. Well, welcome. What brings you to visit your king?
Well, Your Majesty, we are on a quest to find the son of a lord, though the son is in the depths of the underworld. And we heard that you may know the entrance of it.
Indeed, I know of such a place, a foul pit, the pit of the 7 jaws. If one of my servants would fetch me a pen and parchment, I could sketch you a map of the place. Just last week, I've sent 500 of the finest guards to stop an incursion by mind flayers. I said, would a servant bring me pen and parchment? He casts 2 spells in quick succession, and a halfling walks off, then comes back with a sheet of parchment, which he uses to sketch a little map of the immediate area with directions to the Pit of Seven Jaws. Where do you come from, my beloved subjects?
I come from the land of the volcanoes.
Cauldron?
Yes.
Ah, it's certainly one of the finer towns in my realm. Are the residents still carefree under the gentle hand of the Lord Mayor?
I believe so.
I am cheered to see it rebuilt after the long siege by the army of Keltos.
That's not.
He takes some grapes and eats them and offers some to you and some wine.
I'll take it.
It's quite delicious and actually nourishing.
This is a wonderful set of wine you have here.
Yes, comes from all of the vineyards of Anduria.
Kid, is the wine real?
Make a spellcraft check. Actually, the wine does seem to be real. The wine is real, but it does seem to be some sort of illusion magic, which is odd to you. It seems that an illusion has been crafted and made real here. But you could not for the life of you... Actually, no, you rolled well enough. You can recognize that this is a combination of... that this is an effect caused by major creation.
Major creation.
Which is a, very powerful spell.
See.
It will also take a nice sip of that wine.
It's good wine.
This wine is delicious, Your Highness.
I thank you. So you are headed down beyond the Pit of the Seven Jaws to rescue a noble's son?
That is correct.
What foul beast has taken him?
What's the actual name? I believe it's the Fishman.
Kuatoa? Ooh. They are foul creatures. Do you know where they took him?
I had notes. Where are they?
They took him deep down into their temples to sacrifice him to their god.
Oh, how horrid.
You must rescue his son and bring him back so they can properly reconcile.
Well then, what are we doing wasting time with a feast? He slams the rod on the table, and the entire feast and pavilion vanishes. Let us go! He stands and goes, My mare! My mare! I'll ride with you.
Alright then.
We have the best to come with us.
I wish to show you the pit.
Very well.
And so he rides you along about an hour out of the way to the pit.
Huh. I did not expect this pit to be well constructed.
It's a 40-foot wide pit. And there's a stairway made of metal grating that spirals down from the surface of the pit. There it is. Beware. I have sent hundreds of soldiers there, and few ever return. The Mind Flayer Emperor Harriman waits within.
At this point, I'm going to knowledge engineering to what the Mind Flayer is. Now everyone keeps talking about it. I don't know.
Mind Flayers are tall aberrations that eat brains. Very, very intelligent, very powerful in magic. And as he's going on about the Mind Flayer King and his tentacles that are half a mile long, you begin to think that there's no Mind Flayer King there, because that does not fit with what you know of Mind Flayers.
Huh. What is he describing then?
Something of pure fantasy, it sounds like.
Well, we shall keep in mind we shall heed your warnings.
But he does warn. He warns of its 7 tentacles and the great icy chill that comes around him.
Wait. Is he talking about a beholder?
It does not seem like it. You may make a knowledge arcana check. As you listen, you realize, wait, if those are necks instead of tentacles, this might be a hydra.
Oh god. More dragons.
A hydra. What do I know of hydras?
They heal extremely rapidly. They're unlike, say, a troll. There is no real way to stop its healing. Damage dealt to a hydra is quickly recovered. The only way to kill a hydra is to sever all of its heads, but you must work quickly. Because where one head is cut off, 2 return.
Oh boy.
And to keep them from returning with that roll, you know that fire or acid can keep the head from regrowing.
Okay, so it's not all lost.
So basically, if we went to the Hydra, I cut his head off, you caught her the wound.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Okay.
Alright. Farewell, Your Majesty. May we meet again in safer times.
Aye, farewell to thee.
We just pulled a shield hero, or a sword hero. We can literally cut down each other with a sword and nothing's done.
Okay, that's what you're talking about. I don't remember the second last dragon I fought. We ended up cooking it and ate its meat.
So this pit. is dark as you head down.
Guess this is time for my lap to come in.
Spiral and spiral and spiral you go. 4, 5, 6 spirals down. Go ahead and position yourselves along here as you walk.
This is a good enough position. Me in front.
Okay. Nothing happens so far.
Guess I'll turn on my lap of ever burning torch.
Yep, I've done so.
Okay.
I hold light. I have less damage.
What happened? There we are.
I have got to find a way to make myself see dark vision permanently.
There's not damage that you do that.
I know, but I just need to look into it.
So are you going to continue down, or are you going to stand there about halfway down the pit?
Move, Birdie.
Yeah, we'll continue down cautiously.
Okay. As you make your way down, would you kindly make a perception check?
I'm gonna die in here.
So as you get to about here, Dirk, you can see shimmering eyes below you. So you are not surprised in the surprise round.
Yay! I'm not surprised by that 7-headed cryo hydra.
I need you to make an initiative check, Dirk.
Oh crap.
So Dirk, what do you do?
What do I do?
This is the surprise round. You get a move or standard action. This thing's about maybe 15, maybe 10 feet below you. Getting near to the bottom of the pit.
Can I use my action to inform Tonatium? Or to warn Tonatium?
You may. Tonatium, you are not flat-footed. Which means you may make your reflex save as one of the breaths comes at you.
Out of here.
It's a reflex save.
Hit both of us?
Yes.
Is it acid?
It is not. As ice, as a cone of ice comes flying towards you. So despite the warning, Tonatium takes the full brunt of 12 cold damage.
Ah, cold, cold. The body warms up though and repels it.
So, regular full round. Dirk.
Yay! So you're about 10 feet below us, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna fly my way down
Okay.
and attack one of the heads.
Alright, you're attacking one of the heads.
Yes.
This is a Sunder.
The Sunder.
It's a combat maneuver.
Yep.
Alright.
That barely misses.
Roll 14 to hit his heads with my Sunder again.
As you stand there now, surrounded by the 7 heads that rear back and begin to bite.
Oh no.
one of them hit.
That one of them is a
I
crit.
see one.
That one of them is a crit
Yes.
threat.
Yes, okay.
Does not
Not
confirm.
confirmed.
As you deftly dodge 6 of those heads, and one of them bites into your leg.
Yeah.
Tonatium.
How far are we? You said 10 feet below, right?
It's about 10 feet. It was 10 feet below Dirk at this landing.
Oh, okay.
So for you, it's about 15 feet down.
Yeah. This might be easier if I can do that. Is it now 10 feet below me?
Yep.
Can I not here? Or, well, speaking of not, split flash!
You're gonna limp lash one of the necks. Okay.
Yes. This will be a ranged touch attack. And hopefully it connects. Yeah.
I don't think Whiplash is actually going to help us that point.
It does. That does touch. Well, okay then.
Okay, now I gotta remember how much damage does.
1d6 on strength checks and con.
Six. Copy. 1, 2, 3. Oh, dang it.
3, 1, and 5, huh?
Yep.
Dirk.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes?
What happens if I attempt my head targeted strike?
You'll have to find out.
Alright, the full round action, I spend 1 for Nash, and I make an attack roll against his head, specifically.
Okay. Make your attack. That barely misses.
Even with, oh yeah, it only took 1 dex damage.
This creature straining against the lash, takes a lumbering step towards Tonatium,
Uh-oh!
provoking an attack of opportunity.
I'll take that.
That will hit.
Cool. Is it immune to precision damage?
It is not.
Nice.
And this is the story is... Well, this tactic is gonna bite me in the ass eventually.
It's gonna bite you in the ass.
And the 7 necks rear back and snipe towards you, jaws thrashing.
Jesus.
Let's see if we count for the fact that my shield spell is still up, which I don't know if it is. 1, 2, 3 would hit. Ouch!
That 20 is a confirmation for a critical hit. And I'm
Does
going
not
to need
confirm.
to... That 10 is for the critical failure.
Oh,
Oh, they're not.
There's a lot going on in this attack.
well, the crit does not confirm.
The crit does not confirm. Correct. So, how many hits were there?
3 in total.
3 in total?
Yep.
So that will be, in total, 25 damage.
Oh, jeez.
And one of the necks bit another one of the necks. Donatium.
Let me calculate how much HP I have real quick. Because, ow!
Yeah, ow! You just got bit a lot by Big Hydra.
Ow, 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 ow. That is going to hurt. Oh yeah, first things first, it's damage.
Yes.
That's a nice bit of damage.
That is a nice bit of damage. And then?
Wait, what was it? I think I had something that lets me do a thing. No, that would be next level. Anyway, I guess if one had, or actually, I will attempt to use a wand of your serious moves on myself.
You are not trained in use magic device, correct?
Yes.
You fail.
Dang it.
This is something that you cannot do untrained.
Ah!
Dirk.
I didn't turn it down.
Let us once again attempt that target strike on his head.
Okay. That deals some damage. Do your damage to the head.
It does damage, and the target is confused for 1 round.
Well, deal the damage. The target is not confused. The target's head got cleanly cut off and is now a 6-headed cryohydra.
Aw, not confusing.
It rears back its heads and points them up at Dirk. And let me real quick see which head got taken. Okay. And 5 of the 6 of them that are able to breathe out cold towards you.
Oh god.
Would you kindly make 5 reflex saves?
That's a lot of reflex.
Well, you can make 1 against the whole thing if you just want to risk it. Okay. You do not take the full brunt. So you will take, I do believe, half of the 58 cold damage.
Jesus. How much is half the 58?
29.
46 minus 29. 17.
Yeah, this isn't going well.
It's not going well.
Donatium.
Oh boy.
The creature falls to the ground, limp. Its neck's twitching, snarling.
Okay. This is good. It's paralyzed. Where is it? I know I had it prepped. flaming spear where it was severed.
Okay. There's now a flaming sphere floating around on it. At this point, it'll take you 6 rounds. No, excuse me. You can do 2 attacks per round, right, Dirk?
Yes, I can.
So this will take you 3 rounds to cleave off all of the heads and kill
How
it.
raise it?
Da 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 da.
Okay, so it's dead, right?
Yes, you cut off all the heads and sear them.
I thought I was about to die there.
Yeah.
And that would not have been a good way to go. Not a good way to go, but... And poor Lord Malachi would not get his statues in time.
Yeah. That'd be sad.
So when you get down to the bottom of the pit, you can see a tunnel that heads off into the Underdark. And by the tunnel is the ice-coated body of a black-skinned, pointed-eared man.
I'm drinking a Cure Light Wounds.
Okay.
I'm gonna Cure Serious.
But yeah, the dark-skinned, pointed-eared man by this door seems to have been flash frozen.
Flash frozen.
Much as Dirk was very nearly flash frozen.
This attack probably would have killed me.
You know what? I just want to be sure this gets those properly. Look around the immediate area, and I'll acid bath this thing to death.
Okay. You dissolve the cryohydra.
It's the only way to be sure, and it's probably better for the environment.
I want to check if the body of the drow has anything on him.
He is wearing armor and has 2 swords and a bow and a quiver and a pouch.
Detect magic?
The armor is magical. It's a beautiful, almost white chain. Very light.
Okay.
It's a +1 mithril chain shirt.
Mithril. That I had before.
That better or worse than my body's?
Oh, wait, I also have a mithril shirt, but this is a magic one, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't have the magic one.
It is literally 1 armor class better than what you have, Antonio. A +1 mithril chain shirt gives you a +5 armor bonus.
Ugh. You know what? I'll take it.
Yay! In addition, there are 2 masterwork scimitars, a masterwork +3 strength composite longbow. The quiver has 5 arrows left, and there's 25 gold in the pouch.
Sadly, I can't use the bow. Because it's +3 strength. I can't use that either.
The other you can use not proficient in that.
That too, but...
I just can't use it because it's too strong.
You know what? I should probably make a separate sheet for all this stuff we find here. Alright, so... we have a +3 composite longbow.
+2 masterwork composite longbow.
Oh.
And +3 strength composite longbow. So otherwise we may confuse it with +3 magic item.
Okay.
Composite with your strength modifier to damage.
Yep.
And we found a pouch of 25 gold.
Yep. And 7,200 experience each.
Oh, nice. We killed the Hydra. That's good for something, right?
Yeah, dragon.
The dragon was supposed to be a harder challenge than the Hydra.
I think it was because the Hydra had, like, it was a lot closer.
No, there's just action economy.
Yeah, action economy, that's probably the issue here.
Yes.
It was one dragon versus basically 7 heads of dragons.
So, best and worst parts of session?
Best part, I murdered a fucking dragon.
Yeah, I've been there, done that. It's the Hydra that was exciting.
I basically single-handed killed the dragon.
I really did like that scene with the at the what was it, sunrise? Cusp of sunrise? Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked everything that happened there.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
I think the only bad part was like just the rough start, but I did like how we did get nudged a bit.
I do like that since Dirk has not met the Stormblades yet, he has a different opinion on the Stormblade.
Yeah, he's like a fanboy, probably at
He's
this
not a
point.
fanboy, really. He just, he sympathizes with, the Tasker one. Because of her father not appreciating, or not liking her path of life.
And the way Tonatiuh sees it is that this girl is constantly risking her life for something she doesn't even have to, like, work for. And it is, like, constantly putting herself in danger for no real good reason. So, like, he sympathizes with the father a bit. Especially since Tonatiuh's family more or less has been, like, murdered.
And Turvu's probably just like, Anna Taskerhill? Ugh, what a bitch.
Oh, what a bitch. With that redhead, though.
I decided to bypass the the other thing that he's supposed to ask the most successful and well-known member of the party. Because Antonio has enough love interests in this story already.
Was he trying to ask Antonio to marry Anna? Ask her.
I decided to say no, but yeah, it's supposed to be like, if she marries a wealthy adventurer, maybe she'll get her kicks from his stories and will stop doing stupid things.
I don't think Tonatiuh were like that much.
Tonatiuh would be like, no. Also, I think that my stalker will murder other women.
She's not a stalker. She's deadly. She managed to help hold back like a 6'5" man by holding his sleeve.
Yeah.
How tall are you, Antonio? How tall is Antonio?
Are you appreciating Juliet Antonio as a player?
Yeah, that's reoccurring, so, like, yes, I do like it. As a character, like, I want her to stay the fuck away, but as a player, I am amused at this antics.
What's the part you had to try to, like, a love potion poison you? With the chocolate?
Oh, yeah. 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 Speaking of, Dirk, I would like you to make a fortitude save. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I preemptive resolve that?
Yeah.
If the fortitude save happens on that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dirk would not have had an opportunity to have this effect. I assume Dirk does not want to be affected by the love potion.
I assume so.
Crafted for the deadly assassin.
Oh god,
Other people.
I poisoned our guards!
You poisoned your guard and almost Dirk.
That potentially Turbo if he took part in chocolate.
I'm assuming Turbo knows who the redheaded halfling is.
Yeah. Ooh. We get to have more. We're gonna be able to have more Jill's shenanigans, assuming I remember this when you get back to town.
I will make a note. Saying that Tomatillo accidentally poisoned his entire cards with the love poison.
Love potion, the alley bashers, and my health folk.
Well, they're not the alley bashers and hillfolk anymore. They're just the forgotten exiles.
Yeah. At least Dirk wasn't affected by that.
Yeah, Tomatillo accidentally poisoned his entire cards with the love potion.
Gosh. I love the Jill shenanigans so much. It's just fun to be a little yandere sometimes.
Yeah. She's gonna kill all who get there.
Trying to remember.
Yeah, that Hydra was a threat.
That Hydra was quite something.
Yep. If we were really unlucky, that could have been the TPK.
Yeah. If it did 30 points of damage, I would have died next round.
I had 33 HP. I was lucky that...
Would you have died if you'd failed your save?
I would have died if I failed my save?
Would you have if you'd taken doubled the damage?
How much did it do? Like 58? I would not have died. I would have been at negative.
Fun.
But that being said, that would have been my opportunity to fucking devastate him with my amazing ability, Unstoppable. Where I'm like, oh no, I'm going unconscious. Nope.
Yeah, I'm just glad I have energy absorption.
Yeah, you probably would have gotten your ass out of here.
So the lesson here is Cryohydra is scary.
Cryohydra is scary.
Hypothermia is even more scarier.
Acid Hydra would have been less scary.
Fortunately, I have 2 weeks to finish setting out all of the named classed Kuatoa NPCs. I've been putting that off because it's slightly bleh, but it is as it is.
Yeah, maybe we should go back to his High Majesty and rest up.
I'm at 28 HP after 65.
Do you want to ask the high level bard for heals?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please. We can even provide our own wands.
Oh, he will gladly offer service to citizens of his empire. I just need to check what spell what level he knows.
Yeah, you killed the Mind Flayer King for him.
Yeah, he can give each of you a Cure Serious
Oh, nice.
as a 11th level caster.
Hey. Well, that puts me back up to speed.
And that puts me moderately up.
He can also give you 2 Cure Moderates.
Possible to get them as potions?
Nope.
I'll politely decline. I don't need more healing at the moment.
I mean for Dirk.
I'll take that more. I'll take that more.
Yeah.
Yeah. really hard. I got more healing from the fucking wall. Yeah, that's something yet. I'll probably get full health.
Yay! Next time, I should get that spoiler image, huh?
Yeah.
Question is, what do I think you'll do when you get in there?
Murder everything.
I think I'll be maybe a little... Yeah, we'll do that spoilery image. Let me turn map tool on so the internet can see it too. Next time on Shackled City, Chapter 4, The Zenith Trajectory.
Oh. Is that a harpy or a demon? With fire.
Yeah.
I love that this chapter is called The Zenith Trajectory, and you immediately go, please rescue my son, Zenith.
Well, I guess it is a trajectory of some sort. And I will name all the territory we find Cave of the Night Player's Realm.
So reminder, next week, no game, because I will be in Appalachia on my way to central Pennsylvania.
Okay, that was Monday and Saturday game, right?
Saturday game for sure, no. Monday game, if I get internet and everything all set up, I'll be like, hey, do you want to do Monday game?
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to stop the stream